men's 4x1, top 3 plus 2 non-automatic qualifiers. It is absolutely packed here at the Alexander Stadium. Trinidad and Tobago didn't manage to finish 4 years ago. The Australians were just off the podium, and England in 8 are the defending champions. Growing sense of anticipation. We've got these 2 relay semis and the men's 1500. Efoloku, Aikins, Ariti, Mitchell Blake and Edinburgh on the anchor leg for England. And listen to that reception. Samoa in 7, just inside them. The very experienced Jeremy Dodson goes anchor leg for them. What a target to chase with the defending champions and the home favourites outside them. The Australians will be anchored by the man who calls himself Rowan Browning, the Flying Mullet, Olympic semi-finalist last year. Now to the Trinidadian team. Elcott, Harrison Jr., Benjamin and Hislop on the anchor leg. I wonder if they'll draft in Jareem Richards going for gold in the 200 metres if they make the final. Singapore go in lane 4. Montserrat in 3. Tavik Benjamin on the anchor leg. Perhaps they'll have to beat that season's best to feature. Akeem Stewart's on the lead leg for Guyana. Nolex Holder goes anchor leg for them. A good team from Guyana. Watch for them on that tight inside lane. We say inside lane, we don't use lane 1, they'll be in 2. Guyana in 2, Montserrat 3, Singapore 4, Trinidad and Tobago in 5, Australia 6, Samoa 7, and England, the defending champions, on the outside in 8. Only the top 3 coming back for the final tomorrow. What kind of marker can the defending champions in 8 lay down ahead of the final? You can hear a pin drop in this arena. It is absolutely packed. It's the penultimate day of athletics in the Alexander Stadium. A superb session of athletics unfolding before our very eyes. A big roar for England as Efoloku pulls away from the Samoan. Good running by Azapadi of Australia. Watch for Trinidad and Tobago down the back straight. That's a superb second leg for Aikins Ariti. Trinidad and Tobago closing down on the Australians. These 3 are up at the moment. Good back exchanges by all of them. Browning on the anchor leg for Australia. Trinidad have got Hislop. Oh, the Australian has fallen. That is such a shame. Edinburgh coming home here. A little bit of pressure from Hislop. England from Trinidad. And I thought the Guyanans had a good team, and Holder has anchored them home to the 3rd automatic spot. What on earth happened to the Australians? Big disappointment for them, because they were amongst the trio who were miles clear of the best of the rest. So the Australians don't finish, England did, and they will fancy their chances in the final. Brilliant baton exchanges for great individual runs, as it was by the Trinidadians, who took 2nd. What a heat that was. There was all sorts going on.
Well, it was always going to be fast from the English team. Jonah Efoloku and Nathaniel Mitchell-Blake running in the legs that they ran in Eugene a couple of weeks ago when the British team picked up the World Championship bronze. So the core of Team England was strong. Harry Aikins Ariti was in that winning squad in 2018. He's one of the most experienced athletes we've got. And it was brought home nicely by OG Edinburgh. Much to the delight of the fans here. England will have athletes still to bring in, including Zarnell Hughes, who was in that relay team over in the States as well. And it's Harry Aikins Ariti. Look at him, Rob, absolutely loving it. It was good by the England team. Sad to see the Australians fall on that final change. I don't think their 3rd leg runner even got the baton over to the last leg runner for Australia. But what an end to the morning session on the track here. And super qualifications from the England team in prime position to defend their title tomorrow morning.
Well, the Nigerians go in the 2nd of the semi-finals. They've got a very good team, but it is looking good for the defending champions. Excellent back straight leg by Aikins Ariti. I wonder whether the Trinidadians will draft in Jareem Richards, depending on what happens in the 200 metres. As we come round here, I'm interested to see what went wrong between 3 and 4 for the Australians. At this stage, Catherine, England, Trinidad and Australia were away and clear in first, second and third. Now let's see if we get the right angle. Watch the Australian here. It's Hale to Browning, and Browning just fell over.
Yeah. Hence the last leg runner, sadly, for Australia. Browning just never got to hand the baton over, did he? Oh, what a shame for the Australian team. It can happen, you can stub your toe. It looked like that's what happened on that first replay, didn't it? But meanwhile, England went charging ahead, Trinidad and Tobago as well. Let's have another look here again. Keep your eye. It's the incoming runner's responsibility to get the baton over. You can see him shouting hand, but yeah. Sometimes your drive phase in a sprint event, Rob, goes wrong and you're over rotating and he hit the ground, and what a shame.
It is a huge shame. The Australian commentators in front of us are going over the post-mortem at the moment, but Edeburen's face firmly fixed on the finish line, as was that of Akani Hislop. Excellent work by Nolex Holder to hold off the fast-finishing quartet from Singapore. Them and the Samoans will have to pay very close attention to the speed of the second of the semi-finals. But England, Trinidad and Guyana safely through to the final.
That's a good time, you know, Rob. Look at that, 38.46 from the England team. Let's look at one more replay. I don't think Hale clipped him. I do think he just tripped, but you need a side angle to make sure. But that's good running from England, Trinidad and Tobago. Only 0.3 of a second slower than the time they ran to win the title 4 years ago.
The defending champions through to the final in impressive fashion. So too Trinidad and Guyana. Singapore and Samoa will have to wait. Poor old Australia didn't manage to finish.